After Palpatine's rise to power and election as Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, he kept a deep, dark secret in his office that not even the Jedi could sense. Palpatine stored the ashes of his former master, Darth Plagueis, inside of a ceremonial Sith Spirit Urn to both remind himself of his monumental defeat over the Dark Lord, but also a much darker and disturbing purpose. I'm going to break down exactly how Palpatine stored the ashes of Darth Plagueis inside of his office during Revenge of the Sith, and why it clouded the vision of the Jedi Order, eventually leading to their downfall. So before we dive into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more awesome Star Wars lore content. Throughout his years as Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, Chancellor Palpatine welcomed many politicians, diplomats, executives, and members of the Jedi Order into his sprawling offices. None of these people, however, had any idea about the dark secret that Palpatine was hiding right next to the entrance of his office. As each of these many people walked through the door to visit Palpatine, they were passing the remains of Darth Plagueis, the Sith Master of Darth Sidious. So why did Palpatine do this? On the night before his election to Supreme Chancellor, Darth Plagueis invited his dark apprentice, Palpatine, to visit his luxurious Coruscant penthouse in the political district to celebrate the fact that Palpatine was about to finish their grand Sith plan and ascend to the position of Chancellor the next day. Palpatine told Plagueis that once elected to the position, he would amend the Constitution to allow him to serve as co-chancellor with him, completing the Sith Grand Plan and installing the two most powerful Dark Lords of the Sith as leaders of the Republic. After many long months of contemplation and planning, however, Palpatine finally decided that he would complete the Sith's grand plan to rule the galaxy alone without the help of Plagueis, placing himself as the sole leader of the Republic and using his own apprentice, Darth Maul, to carry out his dirty work. Once Plagueis sat down with Sidious to begin their celebrations, he ordered his loyal droid, 114D, to pour glasses of Coruscant's finest wine for the two. Palpatine allowed Plagueis to become extremely drunk on the fine red wine, while he himself remained alert and ready to execute his master as soon as the opportunity presented itself. Palpatine slyly watched his master become increasingly intoxicated, patiently waiting until Plagueis could no longer keep his eyes open. Once the moment finally arrived, Palpatine unleashed a shocking torrent of Sith Force lightning on him, devastating every inch of his body and scorching every part of his skin. Palpatine taunted his master, bragging that he was the most powerful Sith to ever live, much more so than Plagueis. As Palpatine slowly tortured Darth Plagueis to death, a monumental disturbance in the Force was felt on Coruscant and throughout the galaxy. A mysterious dark cloud surrounded Plagueis' lifeless body as he died, leading Palpatine to believe that Plagueis had learned how to save himself from dying. He was extremely worried that Plagueis would return in the form of a new host body, or even in his own old one, and because of this, he knew he had to destroy Plagueis' body before that could happen. In the days following Plagueis' death, his body was collected by members of the intergalactic banking clan, who kept his funeral service and resting place a complete secret. At the service, the Munes of the banking clan took control of Plagueis' banking assets and cremated his body into ashes, keeping their final resting place a confidential secret. It's unclear just how Palpatine obtained the ashes after this point, but there are a few possibilities. The first is that Palpatine was given Plagueis' ashes as a sign of respect by the other members of the intergalactic banking clan because of the close friendship and relationship that they displayed to the public. Of course, Sidious had a deep hatred for his master from a very early time, but the public, and even Plagueis himself, was unaware of this because Palpatine kept their public image incredibly clean and well orchestrated. The second possibility is that Palpatine dived deeply into the Force to sense the location of his former master's ashes and retrieve them from their secret hiding spot, probably on Munalist. It's even possible that the members of the banking clan did not turn his body to ashes themselves, but rather buried him, as Mune tradition would usually dictate. It's certainly more in line with Sith tradition to turn one's body to ashes than Mune tradition, so it's possible that Sidious gathered the Mune's body and took it to a secretive Sith burial site where he burned Plagueis' damaged body, turning it to a dark black pile of ashes. Either way, once he obtained the ashes of Plagueis, he stored them in two ancient Sith Spirit Urns, which held a deep significance to the Sith and a strong connection to the dark side of the Force. The urns were often used by Sith Lords in the Darth Bane line to store important Sith artifacts and tools, and of course also the ashes of dead Sith Lords. As Palpatine walks with Anakin inside of his office in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin is unknowingly surrounded by the ashes of Darth Plagueis, further symbolizing that darkness surrounds him in all directions. As we know from an unfinished Clone Wars episode, Ahsoka was to visit an ancient Sith shrine beneath the Jedi Temple, which was being used by Darth Sidious to cloud the Jedi Order with the dark side and prevent them from using their Jedi foresight. In this Clone Wars episode, Ahsoka was going to come inches away from discovering the true identity of Darth Sidious, and even held back his blue Sith Force flames through a door. These were the same blue flames that we saw in Star Wars Rebels when Sidious tried to capture Ahsoka and Ezra Bridger treasure in the world between worlds. In combination with this, Palpatine likely used the urns in his office to emanate a strong dark aura, further clouding the minds of the Jedi Order and strengthening his connection to the dark side. It's possible that he even tapped into this dark presence during his fight with Mace Windu and the other Jedi Masters when they attempted to arrest him in his office. Palpatine also chose to keep the ashes of a Sith Lord, the arch-enemies of the Jedi Order, inside of his office to taunt them and to symbolize that they were no longer in control of the Republic. Palpatine knew that the Republic had already begun to fall at that point, but the Jedi were too blind to realize it. As we know from the statues in his office and the many instances of him subtly bragging about being a Sith Lord, Palpatine loved to taunt the Jedi who didn't yet realize that he was the Sith Lord that they had been looking for. The combination of the ancient Sith shrine below the Jedi Temple that Ahsoka was unable to warn the Jedi about, and the remains of Darth Plagueis being kept so close to the Jedi Temple, prevented the Jedi from being able to sense that Palpatine was a dark side user through the Force, and made their connection to the light side of the Force significantly weaker, as Mace Windu stated. Now, I don't know about you guys, but before The Last Jedi came out, I was really hoping that Darth Plagueis would be confirmed to be Snoke, who had actually saved himself from dying, in contrast to what Palpatine told Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. Despite Snoke just being a creation of Palpatine himself, it's still possible that Plagueis' ashes were somehow involved in the process of surviving his fall down the reactor shaft on the second Death Star. It's very possible that the Sith Eternal cultists took Plagueis' ashes from Palpatine's office after his death and moved them to the ancient and secretive Sith world of Exegol to be with the other fallen Sith Lords that we know are buried there. On Exegol, we see many large statues of previous Sith Lords with their ashes or bodies potentially being right there with the statues. With the dark essence surrounding Plagueis' body after his death at the hands of Sidious on Coruscant, it's possible that Palpatine was able to use the life force of his former master to keep him alive long enough to create clone bodies of himself to transfer his true essence into. We also know from The Rise of Skywalker that the Rule of Two is a physical process which involves transferring the essence of each Sith Master into each Sith Apprentice to continue the Darth Bane line, making it almost certain that Palpatine has a deeper connection to the ashes of his master and even the Sith Lords before him. But either way, I definitely think we'll be seeing more content with Darth Plagueis in the future, so there may be an opportunity to tell the story of what Palpatine actually did with the ashes after Revenge of the Sith. Who knows, maybe they could still be sitting on Exegol, being preserved by the surviving Sith Eternal cultists on the planet after the Battle of Exegol. But let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see Plagueis' ashes used in future Star Wars content. Maybe they can be used to help explain how Sith essence transfer like Moment and Palpatine used actually work, or even be used to communicate with Plagueis through the cosmic force as the Sith version of Force Ghosts, which we know they can't achieve. So that's exactly how Palpatine stored the ashes of Darth Plagueis inside of his office on Coruscant during Revenge of the Sith. Remember to subscribe for more awesome Star Wars lore content. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.